Thursday, August 13th, 2026. Today's World News Headline Summary. 1. The Korea Times. 1-1. Korea fires at least one ballistic missile toward East Sea. North Korea has fired at least one ballistic missile toward the East Sea, escalating regional tensions just days before a major military drill. The Joint Chiefs of Staff, JCS, detected the launch from the Wonsan area at around 6 a.m. on Wednesday. This military action is widely interpreted as a strong protest against the upcoming Ulchi Freedom Shield, an annual combined military exercise between South Korea and the United States. In response to the launch, the JCS stated, South Korea, the U.S., and Japan maintain a full readiness posture by closely sharing information. Consequently, the South Korean military has significantly stepped up its surveillance and vigilance to monitor for any additional provocations from Pyongyang. Vocabulary. Ballistic. Adjective. 탄도이. A ballistic missile was launched into the ocean. Escalate. Verb. 고조시키다, 악화시키다. The new policy could escalate trade tensions. Detect. Verb. 탐지하다, 발견하다. The radar system failed to detect the incoming aircraft. Interpret. Verb. 해석하다, 통역하다. His silence was interpreted as a sign of agreement. Protest. Noun. 항의, 시위. The strike began as a protest against low wages. Combined. Adjective. 연합의, 결합된. The two nations held a combined military drill. Readiness. Noun. 준비가 되어 있음, 대비. The troops are in a state of full readiness. Posture. Noun. 태세, 자세. The government adopted a defensive military posture. Surveillance. Noun. 감시. The building is under continuous video surveillance. Vigilance. Noun. 경계, 조심. Constant vigilance is needed to prevent cyber attacks. 시사용어 해설. Ballistic missile. 탄도미사일. 발사 후 로켓의 추진력으로 대기권 밖으로 솟아올라 이후 지구의 중력에 의해 포물선, 판도를 그리며 날아가 목표물을 타격하는 미사일입니다. Joint Chiefs of Staff, JCS, 합동참모본부. 육군, 해군, 공군 등 각 군의 작전을 하나로 통합하여 지휘하는 최고 작전기관을 뜻합니다.
1-2. President hopes new U.S. envoy will strengthen Seoul-Washington alliance. President Lee Jae-myung expressed his strong hope that newly appointed U.S. Ambassador to South Korea, Michelle Steele, will serve as a strong bridge to further solidify the Seoul-Washington alliance. During the credentials presentation ceremony at Cheonghwa Day, the president highlighted that her deep understanding of Korean culture would significantly help both nations deepen their bilateral ties. Ambassador Steele, a Korean-born American diplomat, pledged to engage extensively with the Korean government and its people. According to the presidential spokesperson, Lee emphasized that outstanding issues between the two countries could be resolved smoothly through reasonable and active dialogue. The ceremony marked their first formal encounter amidst ongoing diplomatic developments. Vocabulary. Envoy. Noun. 사절, tiksa, desa. The country sent a special envoy to negotiate peace. Solidify. Verb. 확고히 하다, 굳히다. The treaty helped to solidify their alliance. Credentials. Noun. 신임장, 자격증명서. The ambassador presented her credentials to the president. Highlight. Verb. 강조하다. The report highlights the need for better education. Bilateral. Adjective. 양자간에, 쌍방에. The two nations signed a bilateral trade agreement. Pledge. Verb. 서약하다, 다짐하다. The government pledged to reduce carbon emissions.
NS. Extensively. Adverb. 널리, 광범위하게. The author researched the topic extensively. Outstanding.
Adjective. 미해결된, 뛰어난. There are still a few outstanding issues to discuss. Resolve. Verb. 해결하다. The mediator helped them resolve their conflict. Encounter. Noun. 만남, 조우. Their first encounter was at a diplomatic summit. 시사용어 해설. Credentials. 신임장. 외교사절, 대사 등이 파견국의 국가 원수로부터 받아 주재국의 국가 원수에게 제출하는 공식 신분증명서입니다. Bilateral ties. 양자관계. 두 국가 사이의 외교적, 경제적 관계를 의미합니다. 3개 이상의 국가가 참여하면 다자간, multilateral 관계라고 부릅니다. 1-3. Russia says it downs 502 Ukrainian drones, strikes port of Odessa. Russia's defense ministry announced on Wednesday that its forces successfully intercepted and destroyed 502 Ukrainian drones over various regions overnight. In addition to the massive drone interception, the ministry claimed it executed a targeted strike on a fuel depot in the port city of Odessa. Russian officials stated that the targeted facility was primarily used to supply the Ukrainian army with vital resources. While Reuters could not independently verify these assertions, the report underscores the intensifying aerial warfare between the two nations. The ongoing conflict continues to heavily impact critical infrastructure on both sides of the border. Vocabulary. Intercept. Verb. 요격하다, 가로채다. The missile defense system can intercept enemy rockets. Execute. Verb. 실행하다, 처용하다. The soldiers executed the mission flawlessly. Depot. Noun. 저장소, 창고. The supplies are stored in the military depot. Primarily. Adverb. 주로. The charity is primarily funded by private donations. Vital. Adjective. 필수적인, 생명 유지에 필요한. Clean water is vital for human survival. Verify. Verb. 확인하다, 입증하다. We need to verify the data before publishing it. Assertion. Noun. 주장. The lawyer challenged the witness's assertion. Underscore. Verb. 강조하다, 밑줄을 긋다. The recent tragedy underscores the need for safety. Aerial. Adjective. 공중이, 항공이. The city suffered heavy damage from aerial bombardment. Infrastructure. Noun. 기반시설. The government is investing heavily in local infrastructure. 시사 유머 해설. Intercept. 유격. 적의 항공기나 미사일이 목표물에 도달하기 전에 공중에서 공격하여 떨어뜨리거나 파괴하는 군사작전입니다. 디포, 저장소, 창고. 군사적 맥락에서는 탄약, 연료, 보급품 등을 대량으로 비축해두는 병참기지를 의미합니다. The Korea Herald, 2-1. Perseid meteor shower peaks this week. How to catch it in Korea. One of the year's most highly anticipated astronomical events, the Perseid meteor shower, will spectacularly light up Korea's night skies this week. Conditions are particularly favorable for stargazers, as the meteor shower's peak directly coincides with a new moon, ensuring minimal moonlight interference. Although the calculated peak occurs around noon on Thursday, observers will have excellent viewing opportunities from Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. The International Meteor Organization estimates that up to 100 meteors per hour could be visible under ideal dark sky conditions. Experts strongly recommend finding an open area away from city lights and observing the phenomenon with the naked eye to maximize the field of view. Vocabulary. Anticipated. Adjective. 기대되는, 대망의. The release of the highly anticipated movie is tomorrow. Meteor. Noun. 유성, 별똥별. A bright meteor flashed across the dark sky. Favorable. Adjective. 호의적인, 유리한. The weather conditions are favorable for sailing. Coincide. Verb. 일치하다, 동시에 일어나다. Her arrival coincided with the start of the meeting. Interference. Noun. 간섭, 방해. We experienced some radio interference during the broadcast. Estimate. Verb. 추정하다. 어림잡다. Experts estimate the damage to be over $1 million. Ideal. Adjective. 이상적인. This park is an ideal place for a family picnic. Naked eye. Noun phrase. 맨눈. 육안. Some planets can be seen with the naked eye. Maximize. Verb. 극대화하다. The layout is designed to maximize natural light. Phenomenon. Noun. 현상. Gravity is a natural phenomenon we experience daily. 시사용어 해설. Meteor shower. 유성우. 혜성이나 소행성이 남긴 우주 먼지띠를 지구가 통과할 때 그 파편들이 대기권으로 진입하며 불타면서 마치 비가 내리듯 별똥별이 쏟아지는 현상입니다. New moon. 금음달. 신월. 지구에서 볼 때 달이 태양과 같은 방향에 있어 보이지 않는 상태입니다. 하늘이 가장 어둡기 때문에 별이나 유성우를 관측하기 가장 좋은 시기입니다. 2/2. Seoul to expand affordable youth housing provision. The Seoul Metropolitan Government plans to significantly expand affordable housing for young people by the year 2030. Recognizing that intense competition and tighter lending rules are making it exceedingly difficult for youths to secure homes, the city is taking decisive action. Mayor Oh Se-hoon announced the goal to increase the Youth Safe Housing Program to 46,000 units, up from the current 33,621 completed units. The program offers homes near subway stations at rents substantially below market rates. To facilitate additional supply, officials are also actively considering expanding the eligible geographic area from within 250 meters of a subway station to 500 meters. Vocabulary. Affordable. Adjective. 가격이 알맞은, 감당할 수 있는. We are looking for an affordable apartment in the city. Provision. Noun. 공급, 제공. The government is responsible for the provision of healthcare. Exceedingly. Adverb. 극도로, 대단히. The math test was exceedingly difficult this year. Secure. Verb. 확보하다, 안전하게 하다. He managed to secure a loan from the bank. Decisive. Adjective. 단호한, 결정적인. The general took decisive action to win the battle. Substantially. Adverb. 상당히, 실질적으로. House prices have risen substantially over the decade. Facilitate. Verb. 용이하게 하다, 촉진하다. The new software will facilitate better communication. Eligible. Adjective. 자격이 있는. Only members are eligible for the discount. Geographic. Adjective. 지리적인. The disease spread rapidly across a wide geographic area. Expand. Verb. 확대하다, 팽창하다. The company plans to expand its business into Europe. 시사 용어 해설. Affordable housing. 저렴한 주택. 서민이나 청년층 등 소득이 상대적으로 낮은 계층이 시장 가격보다 저렴하게 임대하거나 구매할 수 있도록 정부나 지자체가 지원하는 공공주택을 뜻합니다. Lending rules. 대출 규제. 금융기관에서 돈을 빌릴 때 적용되는 조건이나 제한들. 예를 들면 LTV, DSR 등을 말하며 이것이 엄격해지면 주택 구입 자금을 마련하기 힘들어집니다. 2-3. Government to announce details on job creation plan for youths. South Korea's finance minister announced Thursday that detailed measures to create jobs for young people will be unveiled soon. Despite overall employment gains nationwide, the employment rate for those aged 15 to 29 has alarmingly declined for 27 consecutive months. Finance Minister Koo Young-chul pointed out that a prolonged heat wave and global geopolitical tensions are severely weighing on the domestic job market. To counteract this slump, the government plans to target struggling sectors like manufacturing and construction with tailored policies. Crucially, officials will implement 3 semiconductor and AI mega projects at full speed to generate the high-quality jobs preferred by younger generations. Vocabulary. Unveil. Verb. 발표하다, 드러내다. The tech company will unveil its new smartphone today. Alarmingly. Adverb. 우려할 만큼, 놀랍게도. The pollution levels have risen alarmingly fast. Prolonged. Adjective. 장기화된, 오래 계속되는. The region is suffering from a prolonged drought. Domestic. Adjective. 국내의, 가정의.
The president focused on domestic economic issues. Counteract, verb. 대응하다, 상쇄하다. Exercise can help counteract the effects of stress. Slump, noun. 폭락, 침체. The retail industry is experiencing a terrible slump. Tailored, adjective. 맞춤형의. The curriculum is tailored to each student's needs. Implement, verb. 실행하다, 이행하다. The manager decided to implement a new work schedule. Generate, verb. 발생시키다, 만들어내다. Wind turbines generate clean electricity. Preference, noun. 선호도. She has a strong preference for classical music. 시사용어 해설. Employment rate, 고용률. 일할 수 있는 연령대의 인구 중 실제로 일자리를 가지고 일하고 있는 사람들의 비율을 나타내는 대표적인 경제 지표입니다. Virtuous cycle, 선순환. 투자가 고용을 낳고 고용이 소비를 늘리며 다시 기업의 매출이 늘어 투자가 늘어나는 식의 긍정적인 경제 흐름을 뜻합니다.
3. CNN 3-1. CNN to provide live coverage of the 2026 solar eclipse. CNN provided comprehensive, live special coverage of the highly anticipated total solar eclipse on Wednesday. This rare cosmic spectacle became visible to millions of awestruck observers across parts of Greenland, Iceland, northern Russia, Spain, and Portugal. The network deployed anchors, correspondents, and science experts globally to offer real-time updates and in-depth analysis from the path of totality. For example, Clarissa Ward reported live from Mallorca, Spain, capturing the exact moment daylight temporarily turned into twilight. The broadcast successfully blended on-the-ground excitement with educational insights into the science behind the celestial event. Vocabulary. Comprehensive. Adjective. 포괄적인, 종합적인. The manual provides a comprehensive guide to the software. Cosmic. Adjective. 우주의. Scientists are studying cosmic radiation from deep space. Spectacle. Noun. 장관, 구경거리. The opening ceremony of the Olympics was a brilliant spectacle. Awestruck. Adjective. 경외심에 사로잡힌. The tourists were awestruck by the beauty of the canyon. Deploy. Verb. 배치하다, 파견하다. The government decided to deploy rescue teams to the area. Correspondent. Noun. 특파원, 통신원. He works as a foreign correspondent in London. Twilight. Noun. 황혼, 땅거미. The sky turned purple during the evening twilight. Temporarily. Adverb. 일시적으로. The road is temporarily closed for repairs. Blend. Verb. 섞다, 혼합하다. You need to blend the ingredients smoothly. Celestial. Adjective. 하늘에, 천체에. Comets are fascinating celestial bodies. 시사용어 해설. Path of totality. 계기이식 경로. 달이 태양을 100% 가리는 현상을 관측할 수 있는 지구 표면의 좁은 띠 모양의 구역입니다. On the ground. 현장에. 스튜디오가 아닌 실제 사건이나 행사가 벌어지고 있는 바로 그 장소를 의미하는 저널리즘 표현입니다. 3-2. The Detour with David Chang premieres. CNN's new original series, The Detour with David Chang, is set to premiere on Sunday, September 20. The 6-episode series follows the highly acclaimed chef and restaurateur on a classic American road trip in pursuit of unforgettable, no-frills culinary experiences. Frustrated by the modern age of influencers and algorithms, Chang deliberately cuts through the digital noise to rely on local leads and friends' personal recommendations. Each episode pairs him with a new travel companion, such as comedian Eric Andre or filmmaker Cord Jefferson, exploring diverse regional food cultures. The show is about getting out and experiencing the world for yourself, Chang noted. Vocabulary. Premiere. Verb. 첫 방송을 하다, 개봉하다. The highly anticipated movie will premiere tonight. Acclaimed. Adjective. 찬사를 받는, 호평을 받는. The acclaimed author published a new novel. In pursuit of. Idiom. 뭐뭐를 추구하여, 쫓아서. He moved to the city in pursuit of a better career. No frills. Adjective. 불필요한 장식이 없는, 실속 있는. We took a cheap, no-frills flight to Paris. Culinary. Adjective. 요리에, 주방에. She has excellent culinary skills. Deliberately. Adverb. 의도적으로, 고의로. The suspect deliberately deleted the computer files. Rely on. Phrasal verb. 어머에 의존하다. You can always rely on him for good advice. Recommendation. Noun. 추천. I bought this book based on a friend's recommendation. Companion. Noun. 동반자, 친구. A dog can be a wonderful travel companion. Diverse. Adjective. 다양한. The university has a very diverse student population. 시사용화 해설. Original series. 오리지널 시리즈. 방송국이나 스트리밍 플랫폼, 예, 넷플릭스, CNN 등이 다른 곳에서 사오지 않고 자체적으로 기획하고 제작한 독점 프로그램을 말합니다. Detour. 우회로. 정해진 빠른 길, 고속도로 등을 벗어나 빈 둘러가는 길을 뜻합니다. 여기서는 뻔한 관광지가 아닌 숨겨진 명소를 찾아가는 여정을 은유합니다.
Number 3. 3. Crowley narrowly defeats Democratic Socialist Hong in Wisconsin governor primary. In a significant political upset, David Crowley narrowly defeated Democratic Socialist Francesca Hong in the Wisconsin Democratic gubernatorial primary. Polling data prior to the election had not clearly predicted this outcome, surprising many political analysts. The tight victory, decided by roughly 3,200 votes, highlights the potential limits of the progressive wing's appeal among mainstream Democratic voters. Following the results, Hong graciously called Crowley to concede the race. The critical question moving forward is whether the fractured party base can successfully unite behind the moderate candidate ahead of the general election. Vocabulary. Upset. Noun. 선거, 스포츠에. 이변, 뜻밖의 결과. The underdog team won the match in a major upset. Narrowly. Adverb. 근소하게, 간신히. She narrowly escaped the burning building. Gubernatorial. Adjective. 주지사에. The gubernatorial election will take place next month. Primary. Noun. 예비선거. He won the party's primary by a large margin. Progressive. Adjective. 진보적인. The politician is known for her progressive views on healthcare. Appeal. Noun. 호소력, 매력. The new design has a broad appeal to younger consumers. Graciously. Adverb. 우아하게, 너그럽게. She graciously accepted the apology from her colleague. Concede. Verb. 패배를 인정하다, 수긍하다. After seeing the votes, the candidate decided to concede. Fractured. Adjective. 분열된, 골절된. The leader tried to unite the fractured organization. Moderate. Adjective. 온건한, 중도에. Voters often prefer a moderate approach to tax reforms. 시사용어 해설. Primary. 예비선거. 미국의 선거제도로 본선거, general election에 나갈 각 정당의 최종 후보를 당원이나 일반 유권자들이 미리 투표로 뽑는 과정입니다. Concede. 승복하다. 선거에서 표 차이가 뚜렷해졌을 때 패배가 유력한 후보가 상대방에게 축하 인사를 전하며 자신의 패배를 공식적으로 인정하는 행위입니다. 4.4. 4-1. Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen launch strike on ship in Red Sea. Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels have launched a dangerous strike against a commercial ship navigating the Red Sea. This attack marks another severe escalation in the ongoing regional conflict, threatening one of the world's most critical maritime trade routes. The assault demonstrates how proxy groups are increasingly becoming involved in the broader geopolitical standoff in the Middle East. International shipping companies are now facing heightened risks, leading to severe disruptions in global supply chains. Global leaders are urgently calling for diplomatic interventions to prevent the violence from spiraling entirely out of control. Vocabulary. Rebel. Noun. 반군, 반역자. The rebels fought against the corrupt government. Navigate. Verb. 항해하다, 길을 찾다. Sailors use the stars to navigate across the ocean. Escalation. Noun. 단계적 확대, 고조. There is fear of a military escalation in the region. Maritime. Adjective. 바다에, 해운에. The country has a strong maritime industry. Assault. Noun. 공격, 폭행. The sudden enemy assault surprised the guards. Proxy.
Noun. 대리인, 대리세력. The two superpowers fought a proxy war in the small nation. Standoff. Noun. 대치, 교착 상태. The police and the robbers were in a tense standoff. Disruption. Noun. 붕괴, 차질. A strike by truck drivers caused major disruption to deliveries. Intervention. Noun. 개입, 간섭. Early medical intervention can save a patient's life. Spiral. Verb. 나선형으로 움직이다, 통제 불능으로 악화되다. Inflation began to spiral out of control last year. 시사용어 해설. Proxy war. 대리전. 강대국들이 서로 직접 싸우지 않고 자신들을 지지하는 다른 작은 나라나 무장단체, 대리 세력을 지원하여 대신 싸우게 하는 형태의 전쟁입니다. 후시, 후티. 예멘 북부 지역을 장악하고 있는 시아파 무장 반군으로 이란의 군사적 지원을 받고 있어 영내 안보의 핵심 변수로 꼽힙니다.
4-2. Myanmar's military-backed government seeks legitimacy. More than 5 years after overthrowing a democratically elected government, Myanmar's military regime is actively seeking diplomatic legitimacy from its neighbors. Military leader Min Aung Hlaing recently achieved a significant diplomatic victory with a red carpet welcome in neighboring Thailand. However, this visit sparked fierce criticism from Burmese exiles, who hold him responsible for a brutal civil war that has claimed an estimated 100,000 lives. Amidst this maneuvering, the regime surprisingly released the first photographs of imprisoned democracy icon Aung San Suu Kyi in 5 years. Observers are now intensely speculating whether this unexpected move hints at her imminent release to appease international pressure. Vocabulary. Overthrow. Verb. 타도하다, 전복시키다. The rebels planned to overthrow the dictator. Regime. Noun. 정권, 체제. The harsh military regime strictly controlled the media. Legitimacy. Noun. 합법성, 정당성. The opposition questioned the legitimacy of the election results. Exile. Noun. 망명자, 추방. The writer lived in exile for 20 years. Brutal. Adjective. 잔혹한, 무자비한. The country suffered through a brutal winter. Maneuver. Noun. 정치적 공작, 책략. The tax cut was a clever political maneuver before the election. Imprisoned. Adjective. 수감된, 투옥된. Speculate. Verb. 추측하다, 짐작하다. Fans speculate that the singer will release a new album soon. Imminent. Adjective. 임박한, 목전에. Dark clouds suggest that a storm is imminent. Appease. Verb. 달래다, 요구를 들어주다. They tried to appease the angry customers with refunds. 시사용어 해설. Regime. 정권. 특정 집단이 권력을 잡고 다스리는 체제를 뜻하며 주로 독재적이거나 부정적인 뉘앙스를 풍기는 군사정권, military regime을 지칭할 때 자주 사용됩니다. Legitimacy. 정당성. 통치자나 정부가 국민과 국제사회로부터 합법적이고 정당한 권한을 가졌다고 인정받는 것을 말합니다. 쿠데타로 집권한 세력이 가장 갈구하는 것이 바로 이 정당성입니다.
4-3. Fridge-free vaccine passes first human trial. A groundbreaking fridge-free vaccine has successfully passed its first human trial, sparking immense hope for global health. Historically, most vaccines have required an unbroken chain of refrigeration, known as the cold chain, to remain effective. Maintaining this temperature is incredibly challenging in remote regions and conflict zones where reliable electricity is scarce. The newly reformulated vaccine demonstrated that it can survive at ambient temperatures without losing its immunological potency. Experts believe this technological breakthrough will drastically reduce vaccine wastage and ensure life-saving immunizations reach the world's most vulnerable populations. Vocabulary. Groundbreaking. Adjective. 획기적인. The scientist made a groundbreaking discovery. Unbroken. Adjective. 중단되지 않은, 연속적인. the team set an unbroken record of 10 wins. Refrigeration. Noun. 냉장. 보관. Milk needs constant refrigeration to stay fresh. Scarce. Adjective. 부족한. 드문. Food and clean water were scarce after the earthquake. Reformulate. Verb. 약, 화장품 등을 새로 제조하다. The company decided to reformulate the soft drink.
ambient, adjective, 주의해, 잔잔한. The chemicals must be stored at ambient room temperature. Potency, noun, 효능, 힘. Improper storage can reduce the medication's potency. Breakthrough, noun, 돌파구, 큰 발전. The new drug is a major breakthrough in cancer treatment. Wastage, noun, 낭비, 소모. The factory installed new systems to reduce water wastage. Vulnerable, adjective, 취약한, 상처받기 쉬운. Older adults are more vulnerable to severe flu. 시사용어 해설. cold chain, cold plus. 온도에 민감한 백신이나 신선식품이 생산지에서 환자, 소비자에게 도달할 때까지 저온 상태를 유지하는 저온 유통체계입니다. 휴먼 트라이얼, 인체 임상시험. 동물 실험을 거쳐 새로 개발된 약물이나 백신이 사람에게도 부작용 없이 효과가 있는지 확인하기 위해 실시하는 필수 시험 단계입니다.
5. ABC Australia 5-1. Australian troops join UNC members in UFS exercise in South Korea. Australian defense personnel have strategically joined the annual Ulchi Freedom Shield exercise currently unfolding in South Korea. They are part of a broader coalition with approximately 66 service members representing 11 United Nations Command UNC member states actively participating. South Korean military leadership recently hosted a goodwill event to thank the visiting Allied troops and further enhance mutual operational cooperation. This large-scale combined exercise is specifically designed to bolster the defensive posture against potential regional contingencies. Australian involvement serves as a powerful testament to the enduring international solidarity dedicated to safeguarding peace on the Korean Peninsula. Vocabulary. Personnel. Noun. 조직, 군대에. 인원. 장병. All military personnel must wear their uniforms. Strategically. Adverb. 전략적으로. The store is strategically located near the subway. Unfold. Verb. 상황이 전개되다, 펼쳐지다. We watched the drama unfold on live television. Coalition. Noun. 연합, 연대. The two parties formed a coalition government. Mutual. Adjective. 상호간에, 서로에. The agreement was based on mutual trust and respect. Bolster. Verb. 강화하다, 지지하다. The president gave a speech to bolster public confidence. Posture. Noun. 폐쇄, 자세. The government adopted a defensive military posture. Contingency. Noun. 만일의 사태, 비상사태. We have a backup plan for any unexpected contingency. Testament. Noun. 증거, 증명. The building is a testament to classic architecture. Safeguard. Verb. 보호하다, 지키다.
5-2. Total Solar Eclipse 2026. Millions watched the celestial event. Millions of astro-tourists flocked to the Northern Hemisphere this week to witness a breathtaking total solar eclipse. In Spain, small, tranquil mountain villages were suddenly transformed into prime tourist destinations as eager observers gathered to experience roughly 2 minutes of pure totality. Local authorities prepared extensively, deploying tens of thousands of police officers to manage the immense traffic and mitigate the high risk of wildfires exacerbated by a severe heat wave. The rare celestial alignment cast a shadow that turned daylight into sudden night, leaving crowds completely awestruck. For many, the event was described as a life-changing spectacle of nature. Vocabulary. Flock. Verb. 태지어 모이다. 몰려들다. Tourists flock to the beach during the summer. Breathtaking. Adjective. 숨이 멎을 듯한 아슬아슬한. The view from the top of the mountain was breathtaking. Tranquil, adjective. 평온한, 고요한. She enjoyed a tranquil morning by the lake. Prime, adjective. 최고의, 주요한. This area is a prime location for opening a cafe. Extensively, adverb. 널리, 광범위하게. The author researched the topic extensively. Immense, adjective. 엄청난, 거대한.
The project required an immense amount of money. Mitigate, verb. 완화하다, 경감시키다. We must plant trees to mitigate climate change. Exacerbate, verb. 악화시키다. His angry comments only exacerbated the situation. Alignment, noun. 정렬, 일직선. The precise alignment of the planets is very rare. Spectacle, noun. 장관, 구경거리. The fireworks display was a magnificent spectacle. 시사용어 해설. Totality, 계기식분. 달이 태양을 완전히 가리는 그 짧고 어두운 순간을 가리킵니다. 이때 하늘은 밤처럼 어두워지고 태양의 바깥대기인 코로나를 맨눈으로 볼 수 있습니다. Astrotourist, 천문 관광객. 일식, 월식, 오로라, 유성우 등 특별한 우주 천문 현상을 관측하기 위해 전 세계를 여행하는 사람들을 가리키는 신조어입니다.
5-3. Global tariffs cast a shadow over supply chains. U.S. President Donald Trump's looming threat to slap a 50% tariff on Canadian goods has sent shockwaves through global markets. The unprecedented trade-aggressive posture suggests that even America's closest neighbors and allies are not immune to fierce economic protectionism. If implemented, this punitive levy could severely disrupt integrated North American supply chains and inflate costs for everyday consumers. Consequently, other allied nations heavily reliant on exports are watching the tense negotiations with deep anxiety. Economic analysts warn that erecting such steep trade barriers could trigger a cascading effect, potentially leading to widespread corporate layoffs globally.
6. CGTN 6-1. China's homegrown C919 jet begins first international commercial flights. China's domestically developed C919 large passenger aircraft has officially commenced its regular international commercial operations. On Wednesday afternoon, Air China's inaugural international flight for the model safely departed from Beijing and landed in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Upon its arrival, the aircraft was celebrated with a grand traditional water salute ceremony at the new airport. This 2-hour journey marks a significant milestone for China's aerospace manufacturing industry as it boldly steps onto the global stage. The successful overseas deployment of the C919 demonstrates Beijing's ambition to break the duopoly held by Western aviation giants. Vocabulary. Domestically. Adverb. 국내에서, 자체적으로. The car was domestically produced in Korea. Commence. Verb. 시작하다, 개시하다. The building construction will commence next month. Inaugural. Adjective. 첫, 취임의. The president gave his inaugural address yesterday. Salute. Noun. 경례, 환영의식. The soldiers gave a formal salute to their commander. Milestone. Noun. 이정표, 획기적 사건. Graduating from college is a huge milestone in life. Aerospace. Noun. 항공우주. He works as an engineer in the aerospace industry. Boldly. Adverb. 대담하게, 용감하게. She boldly stepped up to the microphone to speak. Deployment. Noun. 배치, 전개, 투입. The general ordered the deployment of additional troops. Ambition. Noun. 야망, 포부. Her ultimate ambition is to become an astronaut. Duopoly. Noun. 독점, 두 기업의 독점. The software market is basically a duopoly. 시사용어 해설. Commercial operation, 상업운항. 비행기나 선박 등이 시험 단계를 넘어 실제 승객이나 화물을 태우고 돈을 벌기 위한 정식 운행을 시작하는 것을 말합니다. Duopoly, 복점, 양과점.
독점 모노폴리가 하나의 기업이 시장을 지배하는 것이라면 듀오폴리는 두 개의 거대 기업, 예를 들어 항공기의 보잉과 에어버스가 전체 시장을 장악하고 있는 상태를 뜻합니다.
6-2. ROK top court upholds compensation order over World War II forced labor. The Supreme Court of the Republic of Korea, ROK, has firmly upheld a lower court's ruling regarding historical grievances on Wednesday. The top court ordered a Japanese company to pay 80 million won, approximately $56,500, to the bereaved family of a Korean national forced into labor during World War II. Following the verdict, family members and their lawyers addressed the press outside the courthouse, expressing relief after a prolonged legal battle. This landmark decision reinforces South Korea's judicial stance that individual rights to seek compensation for colonial-era abuses have not expired. The ruling is expected to remain a sensitive point in the diplomatic relations between Seoul and Tokyo. Vocabulary. Uphold. Verb. 판결을 유지하다, 지지하다. The Supreme Court decided to uphold the previous ruling. Compensation. Noun. 보상, 배상금. He received financial compensation for his work injury. Grievance. Noun. 불만, 고충, 억울한 일. Employees can file a grievance if they are treated unfairly. Bereaved. Adjective. 가족을 잃은, 유족의. The community gathered to support the bereaved family. Verdict. Noun. 평결, 판결. The jury reached a not guilty verdict after 2 days. Prolong. Verb. 연장하다, 길어지게 하다. Eating well can help to prolong your life. Landmark. Adjective. 획기적인, 역사적인. The invention of the internet was a landmark event. Reinforce. Verb. 강화하다, 보강하다. The concrete wall was reinforced with steel bars. Colonial. Adjective. 신민지의. The museum exhibits artifacts from the colonial era. Expire. Verb. 만료되다, 소멸하다. My driver's license will expire next month. 시사용어 해설. Uphold. 유지, 확정하다. 대법원과 같은 상급법원이 항소심이나 1심과 같은 하급법원이 내린 판결이 옳다고 인정하여 그대로 확정짓는 것을 뜻하는 법률 용어입니다. Compensation. 배상, 보상. 다른 사람에게 입힌 손해나 피해를 갚아주기 위해 건네는 돈이나 물건을 의미합니다. 6-3. Putin says NATO, Japan's moves pose security threat. Russian President Vladimir Putin issued a stern warning on Wednesday, stating that NATO's expansion and Japan's military maneuvers pose a direct security threat to Russia. Speaking during naval drills on Sakhalin Island, Putin cautioned that the deployment of new Western weapon systems in the Asia-Pacific region is heightening the potential for conflict. He specifically criticized the formation of new military political blocs and noted that Japan has, for the first time, classified Russia as a major threat. This rhetoric underscores Moscow's growing unease over Tokyo's deepening cooperation with NATO and the United States. Despite the tensions, Putin asserted that Russia has no territorial claims against Japan. Vocabulary. Stern. Adjective. 엄중한, 단호한. The teacher gave the noisy students a stern warning. Maneuver. Noun. 기동훈련, 조작, 책략. The army practiced a flanking maneuver during the drill. Pose. Verb. 위협, 문제를 제기하다. Pollution can pose a serious threat to our health. Deployment. Noun. 군대, 무기의 배치. The deployment of troops was necessary for defense. Heighten. Verb. 고조시키다, 높이다. The loud noises help to heighten the tension in the movie. Classify. Verb. 분류하다. Libraries classify books according to their subjects. Rhetoric. Noun. 미서여구, 정치적 수사. The politician's speech was full of empty rhetoric. Underscore. Verb. 강조하다, 분명히 보여주다. The tragedy underscores the importance of fire safety. Unease. Noun. 불안, 우려. There was a feeling of unease among the staff. Territorial. Adjective. 영토의. The two nations have a long-standing territorial dispute. 시사용어 해설. NATO. 북대서양 조약기구. 미국과 유럽 국가들이 중심이 되어 만든 군사동맹체입니다.
한 회원국이 공격받으면 전체가 공격받은 것으로 간주해 함께 싸운다는 원칙을 가지고 있습니다. rhetoric, 수사, 발언. 정치 뉴스에서 자주 쓰이며 대중을 설득하거나 특정 메시지를 전달하기 위해 정치인들이 의도적으로 사용하는 말이나 표현 방식을 뜻합니다.
Number 7. NHK World Japan. Number 7. 1. Japan tells Iran Hormuz transit should be free of additional fees. Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi held crucial telephone talks with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian on Wednesday, stressing the importance of maritime security. During the call, Takaichi emphasized that no additional fees should be imposed on vessels navigating through the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. This critical global trade artery has faced severe disruptions amidst stalled diplomatic negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. Furthermore, Takaichi conveyed Japan's deep concern regarding the instability in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. She strongly urged Tehran to influence the aligned Houthi rebels in Yemen to exercise maximum restraint. Vocabulary. Crucial. Adjective. 중대한. 결정적인. Sleep is crucial for maintaining good health. Maritime. Adjective. 바다이. 해양이. The country relies heavily on maritime trade. Impose. Verb. 부과하다. 강요하다. The government will impose a new tax on sugar. Strategically. Adverb. 전략적으로. The castle was strategically built on a high hill. Artery. Noun. 동맥. 주요 도로. 통로. The Suez Canal is a vital trade artery for Europe. Disruption. Noun. 붕괴. 중단. 차질. The heavy snow caused severe disruption to the traffic. Stalled. Adjective. 교착 상태에 빠진. 멈춘. The peace negotiations have been stalled for months. Instability. Noun. 불안정성. Political instability can hurt a nation's economy. Urge. Verb. 강력히 권고하다. 촉구하다. The doctor urged him to stop smoking immediately. Restraint. Noun. 자제. 통제. He showed great restraint by not getting angry. 시사용어 해설. Strait of Hormuz. 호르무즈 해협. 중동의 원유가 전 세계로 나가는 길목에 있는 좁은 바다입니다. 세계 경제의 생명선과 같아서 이란이 이곳을 봉쇄하겠다고 위협할 때마다 국제 유가가 춤을 춥니다. Exercise restraint. 자제를 발휘하다. 외교 문서나 뉴스에서 자주 쓰이는 점잖은 표현으로 무력을 쓰거나 극단적인 행동을 하지 말고 참아달라는 의미입니다.
7-2. North Korea fires ballistic missile, believed to have fallen outside Japan EEZ. Japan's Ministry of Defense announced on Wednesday that North Korea had launched a suspected ballistic missile toward the east. Based on initial tracking, the projectile is believed to have safely splashed down outside Japan's exclusive economic zone, EEZ. NHK and Kyodo News reported that no damage to aircraft or vessels has been recorded thus far. Following the launch, the Japanese government swiftly convened an emergency response team at the Prime Minister's Office Crisis Management Center to gather and verify intelligence. Concurrently, the Japan Coast Guard urged all vessels navigating in the area to remain highly vigilant for any fallen debris. Suspected. Adjective. 의심받는. 혐의가 있는. The suspected thief was caught on camera. Initial. Adjective. 처음에. 초기에. My initial reaction was to say no. Projectile. Noun. 발사체. 미사일, 로켓 등. The scientists tracked the trajectory of the projectile. Splashdown. Phrasal verb. 우주선, 미사일 등. 바다에 착수하다. The capsule will splash down in the Pacific Ocean. Swiftly. Adverb. 신속하게. 빨리. The paramedics responded swiftly to the emergency. Convene. Verb. 회의를 소집하다. The committee will convene next Monday to discuss it. Verify. Verb. 검증하다. 확인하다. Please verify your email address by clicking the link. Concurrently. Adverb. 동시에. The two meetings were held concurrently. Vigilant. Adjective. 바짝 경계하는. 방심하지 않는. Security guards must remain vigilant at all times. Debris. Noun. 잔해, 파편. The tornado left a trail of broken glass and debris. 시사용어 해설. EEZ, Exclusive Economic Zone, 배타적 경제수역. 자국 연안에서 200캐리, 약 370km까지의 바다로 해당 국가는 이 구역 안의 물고기나 해저 자원에 대해 독점적인 권리를 가집니다. 미사일이 이곳에 떨어지면 해당 국가의 강한 반발을 부릅니다. projectile, 발사체. 탄도미사일인지 방사포인지 정확히 확인되기 전 무언가가 발사되어 날아가는 물체를 중립적으로 부르는 군사, 언론 용어입니다.
7-3. Japanese publishers are fighting imposter news sites with a cryptographic signature. Major Japanese publishers, including NHK and the Yomiuri Shimbun, are adopting innovative measures to combat the rise of imposter news sites. These media giants have signed on to the Originator Profile Standard, which uses a cryptographic signature to verify the authenticity of their articles. This system allows readers to easily confirm that the content they are consuming actually comes from a reliable journalistic source. Following recent natural disasters, where AI-generated fake images circulated widely online, the urgency for such authentication tools has skyrocketed. This tech-driven defense aims to protect journalistic integrity and prevent malicious disinformation from manipulating the public. Vocabulary. Imposter. Noun. 사칭하는 사람. 가짜. He was arrested for acting as an imposter doctor. Cryptographic. Adjective. 암호화해. Bitcoin uses complex cryptographic technology. Authenticity. Noun. 진위. 진짜임. The expert verified the authenticity of the painting. Reliable. Adjective. 믿을 수 있는. 신뢰할 만한. We need a reliable source of information. Circulate. Verb. 유포되다, 순환하다. Rumors began to circulate around the office. Skyrocket. Verb. 급등하다, 치솟다. Housing prices have skyrocketed in the past year. Integrity. Noun. 진실성, 온전함. The journalist is known for her professional integrity. Malicious. Adjective. 악의적인. The computer was attacked by a malicious virus. Disinformation. Noun. 허위 정보, 거짓 정보. The agency tracks foreign disinformation campaigns. Manipulate. Verb. 조종하다, 다루다. The clever politician knows how to manipulate the media. 시사용어 해설. Cryptographic signature. 암호화 서명. 디지털 세계에서 문서나 파일이 진짜 주인이 만든 것인지, 그리고 중간에 위조되지 않았는지를 수학적 암호 기술로 증명해주는 전자도장 같은 것입니다. Disinformation. 허위 정보. 단순한 실수로 잘못된 정보를 전달하는 misinformation. 오보와 달리 누군가를 속이고 혼란에 빠뜨리려는 나쁜 의도를 가지고 고의로 퍼뜨리는 거짓 정보를 말합니다. 8.1. AlJazeera.com. 8-1. Colombia declares 3 days of mourning after deadly earthquake. Colombia has officially declared 3 days of national mourning following a devastating earthquake that struck the western part of the country. The powerful seismic event has tragically killed more than 200 people, leaving communities shattered. Rescue crews and emergency workers are currently racing against time in cities like Cali to search for survivors trapped beneath collapsed buildings. The immense destruction has severely impacted local infrastructure, complicating the urgent relief efforts. As the death toll threatens to rise, international aid agencies stand ready to assist the grieving nation in its recovery. Vocabulary. Mourning. Noun. 애도. 상. The country is in deep mourning for the lost soldiers. Devastating. Adjective. 파괴적인. 치명적인. A devastating hurricane destroyed the coastal town. Seismic. Adjective. 지진이. 지진에 의한. Japan experiences frequent seismic activity. Shatter. Verb. 산산조각내다. 파괴하다. The loud explosion shattered the glass windows. Trapped. Adjective. 갇힌. The miners were trapped underground for 3 days. Collapse. Verb. 붕괴하다. 무너지다. The old bridge collapsed under the weight of the trucks. Infrastructure. Noun.
사회 기반 시설. The city needs money to fix its aging infrastructure. Complicate. Verb. 복잡하게 만들다. Heavy rain will complicate the rescue efforts. Toll. Noun. 사상자 수. 피해. The death toll from the earthquake continues to rise. Grieve. Verb. 피통해하다. 슬퍼하다. The family needs time to grieve for their loss. 시사용어 해설.
8.2. Solar eclipse plunges parts of Europe into darkness. Millions of people across Europe experienced their first total solar eclipse in 27 years, a stunning event that temporarily plunged parts of the continent into darkness. Starting in the afternoon, the moon's shadow raced from the Arctic, crossing over Greenland and Iceland before sweeping across Spain. Along the path of totality, daytime brightness was suddenly interrupted, bringing about 2 minutes of eerie night-like conditions. Observers in regions outside the narrow totality band, such as Berlin and Prague, enjoyed a remarkable partial eclipse. The awe-inspiring spectacle drew massive crowds, equipped with protective glasses, uniting people in celestial wonder. Vocabulary. Plunge. Verb. 갑자기 빠뜨리다, 던져넣다. The power outage plunged the whole city into darkness. Temporarily. Adverb. 일시적으로. The website is temporarily unavailable due to updates. Race. Verb. 빠르게 질주하다. The ambulance raced down the street to the hospital. Sweep across. Phrasal verb. 휩쓸며 지나가다. A strong wind began to sweep across the plains. Interrupt. Verb. 중단시키다. 방해하다. Please don't interrupt me while I am speaking. Eerie. Adjective. 기묘한. 으스스한. There was an eerie silence in the empty old house. Remarkable. Adjective. 놀라운, 주목할 만한. She showed a remarkable talent for playing the piano. Awe-inspiring. Adjective. 경외심을 불러일으키는. The Grand Canyon is an awe-inspiring sight. Equip. Verb. 장비를 갖추다. The new lab is equipped with the latest technology. Celestial. Adjective. 하늘의, 천체의. Comets are fascinating celestial bodies. 시사용어 해설. Partial eclipse. 부분일식. 달이 태양의 한가운데를 정확히 가리지 못하고 한쪽 가장자리만 베어먹은 듯이 가리는 현상입니다. Plunge into darkness. 어둠 속으로 빠지다. 일식이나 대규모 정전, blackout 등으로 인해 갑자기 캄캄해지는 상황을 극적으로 묘사하는 문학적 표현입니다. 8-3. White House construction project to cost almost $1 billion. An ongoing major construction and renovation project at the U.S. White House is expected to cost American taxpayers nearly $1 billion. The massive undertaking includes the construction of a new ballroom and extensive structural upgrades to modernize the historic executive mansion. Photos capturing the construction scene from nearby vantage points reveal the massive scale of the architectural overhaul. Given the astronomical price tag, the project has inevitably sparked debate regarding government spending and transparency. Despite the staggering cost, officials argue that the modernizations are crucial for security and hosting high-profile state events. Vocabulary. Ongoing. Adjective. 진행 중인. There is an ongoing investigation into the robbery. Renovation. Noun. 개조. 보수공사. The hotel is closed for a massive renovation. Undertaking. Noun. 사업. 프로젝트. Building the bridge was a dangerous undertaking. Extensive. Adjective. 광범위한. 대규모의. The flood caused extensive damage to the crops. Vantage point. Noun. 관찰하기 좋은 위치. The tower offers a great vantage point of the city. Overhaul. Noun. 전면 개조. 점검. The engine needs a complete overhaul to work properly. Astronomical. Adjective. 천문학적인. 어마어마한. The cost of buying a house here is astronomical. Inevitably. Adverb. 불가피하게. As we grow older, our bodies inevitably change. Transparency. Noun. 투명성. Citizens demand greater transparency in local government. High profile. Adjective. 세간의 이목을 끄는. It was a high-profile court case that everyone watched. 시사용어 해설. Taxpayer. 납세자.
국가의 세금을 내는 국민을 뜻합니다. 서구 언론에서는 정부 예산이 쓰이는 기사에 taxpayers' money, 납세자의 돈이 쓰인다고 강조하며 정부 지출에 대한 책임감을 묻곤 합니다. overhaul, 오버홀, 전면 개조. 기계의 부품을 다 뜯어내고 수리하거나 조직의 시스템을 완전히 뜯어고치는 대규모 개편을 의미합니다.
9. CBC Canada 9-1. Canada, U.S. not yet ready to make tariff deal. Canada unsatisfied with latest U.S. offer. As the clock ticks toward President Donald Trump's looming August 19 tariff deadline, Canada and the U.S. remain deadlocked in trade negotiations. Sources reveal that Canadian officials are deeply unsatisfied with the latest proposal offered by American negotiators on Tuesday. The U.S. is reportedly demanding preferential access to Canadian critical minerals, along with concessions in security and energy, in exchange for dialing back the threatened 50% levy. While Canada seeks relief from ongoing sectoral tariffs on steel and aluminum, the current U.S. offer does not lower them to an acceptable degree. Failure to reach a deal could inflict massive economic pain across multiple Canadian industries. Vocabulary. Loom. Verb. Orempasi nathanada. Imbakada. Dark clouds began to loom over the horizon. Deadlocked. Adjective. 교착 상태에 빠진. The peace talks remained deadlocked after 2 days. Unsatisfied. Adjective. 불만족스러운. She was unsatisfied with the slow customer service. Preferential. Adjective. 특혜를 주는, 우선권이 있는. Employees get preferential treatment at the store. Concession. Noun. 양보, 타협. Both sides had to make concessions to reach a deal. Dial back. Phrasal verb. 정도 소위를 줄이다, 완화하다. He needs to dial back his aggressive tone. Levy. Noun. 추가 부담금, 세금, 관세. They put a new levy on imported electronic goods. Sectoral. Adjective. 무눈표래. The government announced a sectoral economic plan. Acceptable. Adjective. 수용 가능한, 받아들일 수 있는. The terms of the contract are acceptable to me. Inflict. Verb. 고통, 타격을 가하다. The bad weather will inflict heavy damage on the crops. 시사용어 해석. Concession. 양보. 외교나 무역 협상에서 서로의 이익을 맞추기 위해 상대방의 요구를 들어주고 자신의 주장을 일부 굽히는 행위를 뜻합니다. Critical minerals. 핵심 광물. 배터리, 반도체, 전기차 등 미래 첨단 산업에 필수적으로 쓰이는 희귀한 광물 자원, 리튬, 니켈 등을 말합니다. 자원 안보 차원에서 매우 중요합니다.
9-2. Millions gather to watch total solar eclipse in Spain. Canada sees partial eclipse. Millions of spectators gathered across Spain on Wednesday to witness the country's first total solar eclipse in over a century. Fortunately, the skies remained perfectly clear, providing an uninterrupted view of the moment the moon completely blocked the sun's light. With massive crowds descending on viewing spots amid hot weather, Spanish officials prudently deployed over 33,000 law enforcement officers to prevent potential wildfires. Meanwhile, skywatchers in parts of Canada experienced a partial eclipse, with St. John's, Newfoundland seeing about 50% coverage. The celestial event sparked widespread excitement on both sides of the Atlantic. Vocabulary. Spectator. Noun. 관주, 구경꾼. Thousands of spectators cheered for the winning team. Uninterrupted. Adjective. 방해받지 않는, 끊임없는. I managed to get 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep. Descend. Verb. 내려오다, 인파가 몰려들다. Fans began to descend on the stadium hours before the game. Prudently. Adverb. 신중하게, 분별 있게. She prudently saved part of her income for emergencies. Deploy. Verb. 배치하다. The general decided to deploy more troops to the border. Law enforcement. Noun phrase. 법 집행기관, 경찰. Law enforcement arrived quickly at the scene of the crime. Partial. Adjective. 부분적인. The moon covered only a partial section of the sun. Coverage. Noun. 덮임, 보도, 적용 범위. The news network provided 24-hour coverage of the event. Celestial. Adjective. 천체의,
우주의. A comet is a beautiful celestial object. Widespread. Adjective. 광범위한, 널리 퍼진. The new policy received widespread support from voters. 시사용어 해설. Partial eclipse, 부분일식. 개기일식 경로 중심에서 벗어난 지역에 있는 사람들에게 달이 태양의 일부분만 가리는 것으로 보이는 현상입니다. Law enforcement, 법 집행관. 경찰, 보안관 등 치안을 유지하고 법을 집행하는 요원들을 통틀어 부르는 공식적인 표현입니다.
9-3. BC Premier promises review of emergency response to wildfire. The Premier of British Columbia has promised a comprehensive review of the emergency response following a severe wildfire near Summerland, BC. The pledge comes as major, aggressive blazes continue to burn uncontrollably around Boston Bar, forcing authorities to issue strict evacuation orders for several communities. With an unprecedented heat wave drying out forests, firefighters are facing immense difficulties containing the infernos. Displaced residents have voiced mounting frustration over the timeliness and effectiveness of the initial government response. This thorough review aims to identify critical gaps and drastically improve disaster management protocols for future climate-driven emergencies. Vocabulary. Premier. Noun. 주 총리, 수상. The Premier of the province announced a new budget. Comprehensive. Adjective. 종합적인, 포괄적인. We need a comprehensive plan to solve the issue. Pledge. Noun. 약속, 맹세. The company made a pledge to use clean energy. Blaze. Noun. 화재, 불길. It took 50 firefighters to put out the raging blaze. Evacuation. Noun. 대피, 피난. The police ordered the immediate evacuation of the building. Inferno. Noun. 걷잡을 수 없는 큰 불. The warehouse quickly turned into a raging inferno. Displaced. Adjective. 쫓겨난, 갈 곳을 잃은. The government provided shelters for the displaced refugees. Mounting. Adjective. 점점 증가하는, 커지는. There is mounting pressure on the CEO to resign. Timeliness. Noun. 시적절함, 신속함. The timeliness of his intervention saved the project. Protocol. Noun. 안전, 외교 등의 절차, 규정. The lab follows strict safety protocols for handling chemicals. 시사 용어 해설. Premier, 주 총리. 캐나다처럼 연방제도를 채택한 국가에서 각 주, province를 책임지는 정부 수반, 주지사, 주 총리를 부르는 명칭입니다. Evacuation order, 대피령. 산불이나 홍수 등 치명적인 재난이 발생했을 때 사람들의 생명을 구하기 위해 위험 지역에서 강제로 벗어나도록 명령하는 조치입니다.
Number 10. DD India. Number 10. 1. PM Modi gets emotional recalling his mother. Says, I still feel her absence. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi shared a deeply emotional and personal moment with the public on Wednesday. During a prestigious event in New Delhi, Modi spoke fondly of his late mother, tearfully confessing that he still feels her absence every single day. He made these touching remarks while officially releasing the highly anticipated autobiography of former President Ram Nath Kovind. The book launch event, held at the notable Vigyan Bhavan, gathered numerous political dignitaries and leaders. Modi's heartfelt reflection offered a rare, vulnerable glimpse into his private life, resonating strongly with citizens across the nation. Vocabulary. Emotional. Adjective. 감정적인, 감동적인. She became very emotional when she heard the news. Fondly. Adverb. 애정을 담아, 다정하게. The old man smiled fondly at his sleeping grandson. Late. Adjective. 고, 돌아가신. She donated money in memory of her late husband. Confess. Verb. 고백하다, 인정하다. He finally confessed to eating the last slice of pizza. Absence. Noun. 부재, 빈자리. His long absence from work caused problems for the team. Touching. Adjective. 감동적인, 애틋한. The movie had a very touching ending. Autobiography. Noun. 자서전. He wrote an autobiography about his difficult childhood. Dignitary. Noun. 고위 인사, 귀빈.
Many foreign dignitaries attended the royal wedding. Vulnerable. Adjective. 연약한, 상처받기 쉬운. Sharing her fears made her feel incredibly vulnerable. Resonate. Verb. 공명하다, 깊은 공감을 주다. His speech resonated with young voters across the country. 시사 용어 해설. Autobiography. 자서전. Auto. 자신. Plus. bio. 생명. 삶. Plus. graphy. 쓰다. 가 합쳐진 단어로 유명인사나 역사적 인물이 자신의 삶과 경험을 제3자가 아닌 자신이 직접 쓴 책을 의미합니다. Dignitary. 고위 인사. 국가의 고위 관직에 있거나 사회적으로 매우 중요한 지위에 있는 사람. 귀빈을 뜻하는 단어입니다. VIP와 비슷한 의미로 뉴스에서 자주 쓰입니다.
10-2 World Elephant Day. India steps up efforts to protect elephants' habitats. In observance of World Elephant Day 2026, India is significantly stepping up its nationwide efforts to conserve its majestic elephant population. India currently serves as the vital home to nearly 60% of the world's wild Asian elephants, making its role in global conservation absolutely critical. The government's comprehensive strategy includes expanding protected habitats, securing ecological corridors, and utilizing advanced scientific monitoring. Environmental officials emphasized that elephants play an irreplaceable key role in maintaining healthy forest ecosystems. By promoting active community participation, India hopes to foster a sustainable and peaceful coexistence between humans and wildlife. Vocabulary. Observance. Noun. 기념일 등의 준수. 기념. Schools were closed in observance of the national holiday. Conserve. Verb. 보존하다. 보호하다. We need to conserve water during the dry season. Majestic. Adjective. 장엄한. 위풍당당한. The hikers admired the majestic mountain peaks. Comprehensive. Adjective. 종합적인. 포괄적인. The hospital offers comprehensive medical services. Habitat. Noun. 서식지. The panda's natural habitat is being destroyed by logging. Ecological. Adjective. 생태학적인. 환경에. Pollution can cause severe ecological damage. Corridor. Noun. 통로. 복도. Animals use this green corridor to cross the highway. Irreplaceable. Adjective. 대체 불가능한. Her 20 years of experience makes her irreplaceable. Ecosystem. Noun. 생태계. The coral reef is a delicate and complex ecosystem. Coexistence. Noun. 공존. The treaty promoted peaceful coexistence between the tribes. 시사용어 해설. Ecological corridor. 생태 통로. 도로 건설이나 도시 개발로 인해 숲이나 산이 끊어져 야생동물들이 오가지 못할 때 동물들이 길을 건널 수 있도록 인공적으로 이어놓은 숲길이나 다리를 뜻합니다. Conservation. 보존, 보호. 단순히 자연을 건드리지 않고 두는 것을 넘어 동식물이 멸종하지 않도록 적극적으로 관리하고 지키는 환경 보호 활동을 말합니다. 10-3 Har Ghar Tiranga 2026 campaign, dedicated to Vande Mataram. The Indian government has officially launched the Har Ghar Tiranga, Tricolor in Every Home campaign, running nationwide from August 9 to 17. This massive public participation movement encourages all citizens to proudly hoist the national flag at their residences to celebrate patriotism and national unity. This year's edition holds profound special significance, as it is formally dedicated to the 150th anniversary of Vande Mataram, India's deeply revered national song. Union Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat described the initiative as a true people's movement that transcends regions and communities. Through flag hoisting and mass singing, the campaign beautifully honors India's rich cultural heritage and independence journey. Vocabulary. Nationwide. Adverb. 전국적으로. The new speed limit will be enforced nationwide. Participation. Noun. 참여. 참가. The project requires the active participation of all students. Hoist. Verb. 깃발 등을 개양하다. 들어올리다. The sailors hoisted the flag to the top of the mast. Patriotism. Noun. 애국심. Singing the national anthem always fills him with patriotism. Profound. Adjective. 깊은. 심오한. His speech had a profound impact on the audience. Dedicate. Verb. 헌정하다. 바치다. The author dedicated her new book to her mother.
Revere, verb, 존경하다, 숭배하다. Nelson Mandela is deeply revered all over the world. Transcend, verb, 초월하다, 능가하다. True love can transcend cultural differences. Heritage, noun, 유산, 전통. The ancient temple is part of our national heritage. Independence, noun, 독립, 자립. The country fought a long war to gain its independence. 시사용어 해설, tricolor, 삼색기. 세 가지 색깔로 이루어진 국기를 말합니다. 인도의 국기 티랑가는 주황, 하양, 초록 세 가지 색으로 이루어져 있어 영어로 번역할 때 tricolor라고 자주 부릅니다. National song vs. national anthem. 인도는 특이하게도 애국가 역할을 하는 국가, national anthem, 자나 가나마나와 그에 못지않게 국가적 상징성을 지닌 국민 노래, national song, 반대 마타람을 구분하여 모두 중요하게 기립니다.